Welcome to my third Word on the Street video, and today I'm going to be talking about Stuart Hall's theory of representation. And Hall defines representation as a more active and creative role in relation to the way people think about the world and their place within it. And he talks about how communication is linked with power, and there's many groups who hold great power and influence the representation of certain topics. And a lot of his theory is concerned with the influence of representation through media, since that's such a powerful tool in our society today. And with media being this source of power for representation, many topics of gender, race, class, religion, those are all topics that we see constantly in the media that influence our perspectives and views and opinions on these certain topics. And some may choose to accept it, some may choose to negotiate it, so maybe they believe some parts of it, maybe don't agree with other parts, and there's always going to be that group of people who just straight up reject it and don't believe what the media is saying. And what the media does, for example, with the news or reading a magazine, browsing the internet, it tries to encrypt a topic with a certain meaning of how the media wants us to view it. But Stuart Hall explains that there's really no one interpretation of things. Everyone is going to have different views, but the media tries to use its power to influence us to think a certain way. And although Hall's theory goes into different depths of representation and how things can be represented, I want to focus this video today on media representation because I think it's something that we can all relate to, where we see it every day, whether we're on our phone, on the computer, even in class. So I want to take a look at this article title. So we can see this article title reads, Oscars make history with 7 record wins for Black men and women. And this article was put on ET Live's website talking about how this year's Oscars made history with the most Black men and women receiving Oscars. And just taking a look at this media, we see it right in the title that we're presented with this tagline of Black men and women. And really, what is this representing? What is the media trying to get us to feel when we read this title? And, you could start asking questions like, what, now the Oscars are more diverse in who wins, that they include all races now in 2019, that they represent all races now in 2019. So I think this article title goes hand in hand with Hall's aspect of contesting stereotypes by positive images in his theory of representation. And really how media is constantly putting emphasis on people of different races in a positive way, which is a great thing. But this aspect of his theory talks about how even putting out images in a positive way don't delete the negative and cruel images from the past that the media once portrayed. So with that article title, we see media practicing representation through a positive way, but there's also media representation just as equally in a negative way. So I just think it's really important to realize how much media has such a huge effect really on our influence of certain things and how we interpret them, just because of the way that they're represented. And how media has these signifying practices, which is a term that Stuart Hall talks about in his theory, and how the media is involved in the production of meaning and how they want society to view a certain topic or person or group of people, whatever the case may be, then the power of those who will believe it will keep communicating it and then ultimately associate that topic with the meaning that the media chose to give us. So I just think it's important to take a look at the media and see how they influence us in our everyday life. So that was my third Word on the Street video for Stuart Hall's theory of representation.